Hey guys, welcome to our weekly AMA, where we're going to give updates on everything that's going on with all the projects in the ecosystem. And we got a lot of bullish updates for you guys today. So thanks everyone for joining. And so pretty much today we're going to talk about some updates directly related to Blue and to Book. We're going to go over our build streams in detail, and talk about some of the benefits of those, and how those are going to look in the future. We're going to talk about some ideas for tomorrow's build stream and go over a little bit over what we did yesterday. And also we got some new opportunities coming up. We're going to be looking to grow the team a little bit. So excited to share those opportunities with you guys. So let's jump right into it. So let's talk about Blue first. Blue, it's had a little bit of a pullback here. We're a little bit over the launch price now. I mean, our staking index has reached over 2.0. So anyone that's been in since launch has seen their token count double now with staking rewards. One thing so the bullish thing that I want to talk about for Blue is I want to talk about the liquidity, and we're going to be making a move live on stream here. That's super bullish for Blue. So let's get right into that. So for anyone that hasn't been here since launch, the way that Blue launched was with basically with single-sided liquidity in V3, with the plan to migrate that liquidity over to V2. And we did migrate quite a bit of that liquidity over to V2. Our V2 pool is pretty healthy now. So we've got 217K of liquidity in our V2 pool. So, we got basically 17,000 Blue in here and an equal value worth of BNB in our V2 pool. So that's grown substantially. I mean, that was basically zero when we first launched. And so here's our V3 pool. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys understand this, but I mean, the nature of V3 and being concentrated positions where basically you set price ranges. Basically the way that we created or that we launched Blue Protocol is we put a bunch of Blue in basically from $5 to infinity. And with this pullback that we've seen basically the price pull back pretty close to the launch price. So what you can see here now in the contents of the pool is you can see it's got 35,000 Blue almost. And I mean, this was almost at zero in that pullback. It's bounced back up a little bit. So now that the price has moved a little bit up from the $5 point, we've got a little bit of BNB in there. But essentially what this V3 pool is doing for us right now is, because basically there's almost no BNB in here and pretty much all Blue in here, it's not doing anything to cover lower price ranges. All it's really doing right now is it's giving us resistance for the price to really skyrocket or to move upwards at all, basically, right? So like if someone's buying a large position in Blue, without the V3 pool, all of those tokens have to come from this limited amount of Blue here, 17,000. I mean, we also have the Blue Book LP, but that we're keeping no matter what. So that's kind of a separate topic. But so essentially you have 17,000 Blue here, and we have 35,000 Blue here that's just acting as resistance, essentially, right? Because like if the price were to dip back to $5, this BNB would be at zero, and essentially this pool wouldn't be helping at all at that point. But what it's doing right now is it's just making it more difficult for the price to go up. So what I suggest that we do now that the price has pulled back to this level, and I think that we've already floored, and I think that we're with everything that's going on with the build streams, and we're going to talk about how bullish that is in a minute. I think that we've got all the catalysts that we need for the price to really start rocketing, and that can happen most efficiently if we just get rid of this V3 pool. So back when we were in the $20 range or above $20, there was only maybe 10 or 15,000 Blue in this pool. So basically we've seen like almost 20,000 Blue get sold into this pool. So essentially, like, one way to look at this is like, if those guys that sold want to buy back in right now, they could buy back in easily because all that Blue is still available in the V3 pool. But if we pull this out and we burn this Blue, the only Blue that's available to buy is going to be this 17,000 right here, which basically means just for guys to reacquire the positions that they had last week is going to send Blue to new all-time highs. So, I've been thinking about this quite a bit ever since the price started to dip towards the $5-6 range. And I really don't see any reason why we wouldn't do this. I mean, it just makes perfect sense to me since, again, the V3 pool right now, just to recap, it's given us a lot of resistance for the price to move up. But due to the current price right now, it's not really providing any downside help, right? Because there's almost no BNB in there. I mean, this, again, like I said, this was at almost zero yesterday. Now it's, in the last 5 hours, it's, has 4 BNB in there now. So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to get your guys' feedback on that, but I can't really think of any downsides to keeping things as they are. Or sorry, I can't think of any downsides to removing the V3 liquidity. So, I mean, what I'm proposing to do right now live on stream is basically just pulling all of 100% of this liquidity, and we'll put the 4 BNB back into V2 with the equivalent amount of blue, and then we'll just burn all the rest of the blue tokens. So, I mean, if anybody has any feedback on that or any reason why they think that we shouldn't do that, I'm all ears, but I think that we should go ahead and proceed to do that. And that'll allow all the different bullish things that we're doing now to really allow that to hit the blue price super hard. So, I mean, the more that I think about it, I mean, there's really no, like, I can't even think of any minor reason why we wouldn't do that. So I think I'll just get started doing that right now, live on stream, and yeah, let's do it. So here's the 2 V3 positions I have. So I'm just going to get rid of both of those right now. So you can see 3.6 BNB in there. So let's get rid of that. So I'm going to have to add that back in a second to the V2. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this one, which is this one just 100% blue. So we're going to burn all this blue in a second. Although this time I'm just going to send it to the burn address just so that we can keep the market cap at what it's currently at. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and just add all that BNB back into the V2. Blue. So it was a bit less than 4 BNB, but let's just go ahead and do 4 BNB. And I'll add that to the treasury after the stream. I'm not going to get into that right this second, but all right. So those 4 BNB were just put into the V2 liquidity pool. And now it's officially very difficult for guys to acquire a lot of tokens. It's going to really rocket the price when guys try to buy back in now. So, and with all the new awareness that we're going to raise with our build streams and other marketing initiatives that we have going on, it is going to make it very easy for blue to hit new all-time highs. Like, for example, I mean, the buy pressure that we had originally to get to $28, if we saw that buy pressure right now, we'd be well over 100, just because the tokens just don't exist there to be bought, right? Like there's just so much less blue available now. We don't have that wall of blue available for people to buy. So just the price is going to move exponentially faster now. So let me just go ahead and burn the rest of that blue. Let me grab the 0 address real quick. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but all right. Actually, I should probably grab the dead address. That's it right there. So I'm burning $220,000 worth of blue right now. 34,403. Let me just super quick. Let me just make sure I'm sending that to the right place. I'm sure it is, but I know that biggest MSS holder is like the dead address, so I'll just grab it from there. All right, let me send those off to the burn address, and this is going to be a huge step to allowing our price to just go absolutely parabolic. All right, 34,400 blue being sent to the dead address right now. I'll pull up that transaction. It's going through right now. Done. 34,400 blue to the dead address. See that, guys? So this is going to be huge. All right, let's catch up with some of these comments. Hey, Alex, what's up? Makes sense. Burn, baby, burn. Makes absolute sense. Burn it. Hey, Killis, how's it going? All right, so that's all done. I think this is going to be super bullish. I honestly don't know why we faced such a big pullback over the last couple days, but we have such, like, I'm going to get into like the build streams and like how. Actually, we'll talk about that in a second. So I think for blue, that's the main thing I wanted to touch on. Let's talk about book real quick. So book, well, actually, you can see here now our V3 pair is saying this pair has very little liquidity. It's basically got nothing left in it. So that's exactly what we wanted. So basically, our pair now is the V2 pair. Basically, the V3 pair is, there's some crumbs in there that I guess somebody else has put, or maybe that's the pancake swap fee address, or I don't know. Not sure what that is, but yeah, basically this pool is done, and we're pretty much all V2 pool. So anybody that sold off their blue, I mean, I highly suggest you get some exposure back, and the price is going to move up super quick as soon as some buys start coming in. So again, just to look at the numbers again, there's 17,000 blue available here. We just burned 34,000 blue that were available in V3 that are no longer available. So there's 1/3 as many tokens available to be purchased now. So the price is going to move up, I mean, give or take a little bit, like roughly 3 times as fast as it would have before. So extremely bullish. Hey, Kev, what's up, buddy? Definitely uber bullish. Let's talk about book. So book also faced a pullback. I mean, we know that there's a lot of liquidity between blue and book. So when blue goes down, it's going to bring book with it a little bit. When blue goes up, it's going to bring book with it as well. We're seeing a little bit of that here. The charts, you can see the blue, or the book chart is somewhat following what blue is doing recently, and a lot of that, there was 1 or 2 sellers in there, but for the most part, it's a lot of that just the token following the other token. So I think that I think things are very bullish for both projects, but with blue moving up, it's going to be bringing book with it, and very exciting times. And again, with the build streams are going to be building utilities for both blue and book. Likely some of that will be through like the with a V2 LP, like having the blue book LP and using that LP token as utility for some of the stuff that we're going to build. But overall, we know that with book USD, it's faced numerous stress tests. It's it's held up super strong. It's still working exactly as it was designed to work. So, and what we have with book USD is that, we basically have something that amplifies the moves of book. So as soon as book starts getting a little bit more positive momentum, guys are going to be way more willing to take out a loan of BUD with their book, and they're going to be using that to leverage up their book. And it doesn't take that much for that to start really kicking in with book. So I think we've bottomed here, and I think this is a great entry. And anyone that's holding on to a big position of book, it's obviously make your own decisions, but I think it's probably not a bad time to maybe borrow a little bit of BUD and either stake that or or use that a little bit to leverage up. So that's where book is standing right now. And I think that, again, with book USD, it being such a strong utility, plus other new utilities coming, I think it's overall super bullish for the, for both projects' prices. Got a question here. Where is the airdrop? The airdrop is coming when the project launches. When we know the launch date, we will share that. It was the snapshot that was happening last week, not the airdrop. So let's talk a little bit about building streams now. This is something that I really want to kind of just give you guys a summary and explain to you the purpose of the build streams and what I expect to get out of them, and maybe what to expect in the short term and the long term related to the build streams. So just for anyone that might have missed our first build stream, which was yesterday, let me just give you a quick overview of what they're all about. So essentially with the build streams, we're looking to accomplish a lot of different things. And I think that the build streams is a great way to like kind of get all of these different things done. So for one, we're going to be building a ton of new utilities for both projects. So, everybody, if you look at the charts of, all my projects, typically the most bullish times are when, new utilities are coming out. There's new things to play with. There's new things to interact with. So I think, just the fact of having new utilities coming out on a regular basis, I think that in itself is a huge bullish catalyst. Now, on top of that, I think something else that's super important with crypto projects is the team needs to be transparent. They need to be in constant communication with the community. Basically have a lot of exposure, right? To interact with not only the current community, but also potential future investors, guys that are watching that are, maybe on the fence about jumping in, or they're just, maybe they just want to see, is this a hardworking team? Well, like what better way to show people that we're a hardworking team than literally building, multiple times a week, live on stream, taking community suggestions, taking community ideas, and building this stuff out. And, basically just working, very closely with the community to just get things done and just to have that constant exposure and that, constantly be on stream and creating new content. So I think, that's going to demonstrate how hardworking of a team we are and, what we're willing to do and, all the different things we're willing to do to make sure that the projects are successful. So, the other huge thing that we're going to get out of this is, we need to raise more awareness. We need more eyes on the projects. You guys in the community say that all the time, and I hear you, and you guys are right. That's, obviously without new eyes on the projects, it's hard to get new investors, right? So how do we do that? Well, we do that with making great content, right? So build streams were, so I've said this a little bit in the TG and like on the stream yesterday. So sorry if you guys have already heard this, but there's a lot of, everybody knows you can build with AI, but a lot of people I feel don't know how to get started. What are the first steps? Just like, how do you go from an idea, or maybe you don't even have an idea, you just know you want to build something and you don't even know what. Well, we're going to have very specific content that will basically guide people along that entire path of like, how do you come up with an idea? How do you use AI to come up with an idea, to refine an idea, to, how do you fork a project using AI coding? There's so many different topics that are in high demand on YouTube that are getting searched nonstop that we can create amazing content to cover all those different things. Now, this content's all going to come from our building streams, which are going to have, the blue logo up in the corner that you see. It's going to have us actually building utilities for Blue and Book while people are learning how to build with AI. So the amount of eyes that we're going to get and the amount of awareness that we're going to raise, and like, just think about it. If somebody's like, wants to learn how to build with AI and they jump in and watch like a 2-hour video of like, start to finish from idea to deployed Web3 dApp, and we're building a utility for Blue and Book in the process. I mean, I don't know, as a user, if I was watching that video, I'd want to go check out those projects and see what they're doing. I'm sure a lot of the people that are watching our content are going to feel the same way. Even if they don't become investors, just having the protocol names Blue and Book just out there for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of new people. Some people are going to become buyers. Some people are going to talk about it. Some people, they're going to see our tweet in the future and they're going to recognize that name because they saw us in the video. I mean, this is like a snowball effect, right? So I don't know what the short-term impact is going to be. It's going to take some time. We're going to be pumping out 2 to 3 build streams a week. They're going to be like 1 to 3 hours long, depending on what we're building. They're going to be a lot more refined than yesterday's. They're going to be, pretty much 90% building at least, where yesterday's was probably like more like 50-50. And it's going to be a snowball effect. As we get more content, we're going to, every single day, we're going to get more and more views on that content. We're going to grow that content library. We're going to keep building new utilities. People are going to want to join the community to have feedback on what we're building, or maybe they have a suggestion for something really cool to build. And we're going to talk a little bit about ideas for the next build stream in a little bit. But, I really can't stress enough, like how much it really has to work as long as we're consistent with it, right? Like, again, I don't know if it's going to make an immediate impact. I don't know if next week it's going to have a huge impact, but if we're, churning out numerous high quality videos every single week, it's only a matter of time before things really take off. And it really is a snowball effect. And we're building a foundation that's just going to keep getting expanded upon every single time we have a build stream. So like, I don't know if it's showing like how excited I am about this, but it addresses every single thing that we need to succeed all in one. And at the same time, I get to do something that I enjoy doing, because, I can talk about building with AI all day long. And, I get ideas numerous times a day for stuff I want to build. So, it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I think there's a lot of guys in the community that enjoy it. And there's certainly countless people on the internet that would enjoy that kind of content. So very, very, very bullish. I can't stress enough how bullish this is going to be. And I have every intention of continuing this and, being super consistent with it. Because like I said, I really do. I enjoy building. It's fun building with AI. It's fun, coming up with a great prompt and, watching it do its thing and, reviewing the results. And, it's just a really fun, great thing to do. And I think a lot of guys in the community are going to enjoy it. Does anybody have any questions, feedback, or comments about the build stream? I know that, I did watch back the majority of yesterday's stream, and I think that, there was some things that could be improved. I think that, me switching to a more ideal setup for streaming where I can, basically share one of my monitors, and that way I can easily switch what I'm showing you guys, or like put two things side by side. I think that's going to make things a lot more efficient. And I'm not going to have to like look left and right so often, because right now I got a huge widescreen monitor. So I'm, I noticed when I watched back my stream, I was looking this way, then I was looking that way, and it's kind of weird, but I'll have that addressed for tomorrow. I'm going to switch my monitor setup up. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any feedback, if you guys watched the build stream, if you guys enjoyed it, or if if you missed it or whatever, I'd love to get some feedback on that. All right, no feedback on the build streams. So yeah, I guess let's talk a little bit about what was built yesterday. I actually realized a pretty massive problem with the voting contract that we built yesterday. But I'm gonna fix that with you guys on the next build stream at the beginning. But for anyone that didn't see, this is what we built yesterday, and we did this. Even though we only spent about half the stream building, we still managed to, from absolute scratch, we built a smart contract on the BSC network. We built a front end that can, show you voting power. We built the ability for, creating new votes by an admin and voting on it for any users. So I thought for the first build stream, I thought that this was a pretty cool thing that we built. The thing that I didn't do right here is I completely forgot while we were building this, but blue and S blue, they only have 9 decimals. They don't have 18. And I kind of built everything here with the assumption that everything has 18 decimals. So a little bit of a smart contract logic updates required to basically tweak that. So right now to use this, you're pretty much getting like proper value for your voting power with G blue, with book, and with the Trove manager. Blue and S blue, just because the decimal calculation's off, it's not giving proper voting power for that. But that's an easy fix for us for tomorrow's build stream. And again, the reason that we didn't like go over that super in depth yesterday is because it's not like a security risk. There's no tokens involved. So we got a comment from John. How can you make the technical jargon simpler to understand for people with no technical skills? Example, smart contract syntax. I mean, that's where I want things to be really interactive, right? So like, it's not always the easiest for me to know like what I'm saying is like overly jargon or just right. So, when I'm explaining stuff, if you guys need it explained in a different way, or, if you don't quite understand something that I'm saying, that's just where I need you guys to just say something in the chat. And, I'm more than happy to explain it. Like, I think I have a really strong understanding of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like AI dev, that if something if I'm saying it in a way that you guys might not understand it, I'm sure I can explain it in a different way that would be easier to understand. But the thing about smart contract syntax is like, I want to build, you'll notice if on the stream yesterday, I didn't do any code myself, right? So I just, so that people can relate and like actually build stuff like we're building without ever touching a line of code. We're not going to be touching the code whatsoever. We're going to be doing everything purely with with AI prompts. So you really don't need to know the syntax to follow along. But yeah, so tomorrow in the build stream, we're gonna have that, and we'll touch up this voting contract and fix that up at the beginning. Then we'll move on to another idea. But yeah, I'd love to get some ideas from you guys. I know that we probably got more guys in the stream right now than our build stream yesterday. So if you guys have any ideas for what you want to see built in our next build stream, this is a great time to share some of those ideas and for us to discuss it. I've got a lot of ideas. I'm never short on ideas, and I think something else that's very useful for our content in the build streams will be just like how to use AI to come up with ideas and how to refine ideas. So that's something that we can definitely do. If we're never gonna cancel a build stream because there's no ideas, right? Like we can always use AI to come up with ideas. Whether that be forking an existing project or building something from scratch, all these different things, we can do it without having to touch the code whatsoever. Gillis says, you're also never short of hard work. Thanks, Aaron. You bet. These AI devs are a great idea, and it would be awesome to see them in a library style directly on the Blue BNB website. So like so there's a lot of things that we can do with that. So we're going to build a lot of utilities for both the Blue project and the Book project. So I mean, maybe what we'll build one day is just like a directory of all the utilities, right? Like that's a fun random idea to build. Utilities that are directly related to Blue, we could definitely mention them on the Blue website, and utilities that are directly related to Book, we could definitely mention them on the Book website. But at first, especially, I want to try and like hit both, kind of equally. But yeah, we can definitely have links to all the stuff that we're building for sure. Build streams and AMAs are great, but sessions must not be missed. You need backups to take your place. Otherwise, the skittish community will panic, seeing it as a sign. You need backups. Well, I mean, I'm not sure I could really have anyone back up a build stream. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to be as consistent as I can be with that. I know, I know that we did miss 1 or 2 AMAs in the last month or so, but I mean, obviously sometimes things come up. But I mean, if I'm the one that's doing the AI build stream, not really that easy to have somebody just step in and replace me if I'm not around. But yeah, I mean, I'm a human. Sometimes things are going to come up, but I can assure you that I'm going to be as consistent as I can be. Yeah, I'm only human. If people are going to sell their tokens because they think I'm a machine and I can't miss a day ever, then I mean, that's not much I can do about that. Any ideas on creating a blockchain game or a launchpad for project tokens? Yeah, I mean, I think we can make tons of different games. So I think games are a really fun angle to take. So yeah, definitely we can build games. Launchpads for project tokens. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something we can do too. There's really no limit to what we can do. It just really comes down to what everybody wants to see built. And we should probably start with slightly simpler things and then move into stuff that might something like a project like a launch pad for tokens. That's probably something that would take a couple build streams in a row. So we probably want to do something like that after we've already got a couple builds under our belt. But I mean, for blockchain games, yeah, we can do all kinds of games. I mean, there's tons of games that we can build that would be doable in a single build stream. In terms of ideas, though, we probably need to get a little bit more specific than that. But again, we can always use AI to come up with ideas. But I think great games are a great idea. Like, just to give you guys a random idea, like that I've had that I think would be super strong. So with Book, we still have the single-sided LP tool, right? And like we used to have the single-sided LP with locked positions with bonus book for locked positions. Now, due to advice from a prior advisor of the project, we got rid of those locked positions. But I mean, in hindsight, I said this before, and I'll say it again right now. I still think that idea was quite genius, right? To the ability for, us as the project owners of book, for example, to be able to give bonus tokens to the community in a way where they can never hit the market. I think that was actually a really great thing that we had going. And I think that's something that other projects would potentially be interested in offering to their communities, right? So if you have a project and they got, a bunch of team tokens or, whatever tokens they might have on the side, and they want to do something to reward their community, there's not many better ways to do it than to say, hey, to your community, hey, create single-sided liquidity and we're going to give you a bonus. You guys know exactly how that worked with book. So, I mean, this is something that we could offer as a service to protocols, right? Like something very similar to what book did, but we could just have a website where any project can come and just set it up how they want, deposit their tokens into the contract, and then they can start offering that to their communities. And like we could take a fee that's going to buy and burn, book and blue. And I think like this is a slightly more intricate idea, just because it has to have a really nice user interface and a great way for like those communities to be able to market this to their own communities, like for those other projects to market it to their communities. So there's a couple extra things involved with this, but again, I think that's something that has like huge potential, just as like one random idea on my huge list, right? So there's definitely no shortage of great things that we can build together that are going to be insanely bullish for both projects. So, I mean, again, like, real quick, like who are the build streams for? Well, there's a couple different types of people that I guess the build streams would be for. For one, it's going to be for just random people on YouTube that want to learn how to build, and specifically like build with AI, build with, crypto Web3 things with AI, or just like, any of the different things that we're going to cover, whether it be forking, coming up with ideas, building intricate things that have backends, that don't have backends, like all kinds of different combinations. But, also within our community, I think that, some guys in our community are genuinely interested in like how the build process works, or maybe they want to get into building themselves. And like, I think that's awesome. Like I love seeing guys from the community in the build streams. That was super fun, and loved interacting with you guys. So hopefully even more of you guys can make it to tomorrow's build stream. But, I think the build streams are not really for everybody. So if you're not someone that's interested in watching building or just building in general, like that's perfectly fine, but you can still benefit off all of the utilities that are going to get built, and just all the extra awareness that we're going to raise, all the extra content that we're going to be building and creating. So it's really a win for everybody in the community and for the projects overall. But I mean, I do hope as many of you guys make it to the build streams as possible, but yeah, I mean, I definitely can understand if some of you are not quite interested in that. But let's take a look at blue here. This is the V3 pool. Looks like the price is already on the move. Yep. So, I mean, you guys see it right there. It just didn't take much. $2,500 buy, and the price already went up, 30 cents there. So if you don't have the exposure to blue that you want to have, the time to pick it up is now, because that price is going to be a lot higher in no time with these liquidity adjustments that we just made. So the last thing I want to talk about today is with the build streams, we are going to need to take those build streams and repurpose them into like different content for YouTube. So like YouTube shorts and like just focused YouTube videos. So if anybody in the community is interested in joining the team, we have a paid position open now for, what I'll call, I guess, a content specialist, or, anyone that has, preferably some experience with video editing, that has some time on their hands, that is able to basically take our builds and, obviously we'll discuss like what we're looking to get out of them, but then like can take our lengthy streams and kind of shorten them down into, just a useful video that we can like give a specific title for YouTube, and just something that would hit the YouTube algorithm a lot better than our generic like build live stream would. So anybody that has any experience there that wants to get paid and help out the projects, definitely let me know in the Telegram groups or reach out to myself or one of the admins. And yeah, I'm looking to hire someone for that position immediately. Crocs Crypto, I missed yesterday's build stream, but I'm definitely interested in learning more, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. Awesome, man. Yeah, like yesterday's stream was almost 3 hours long, but I kind of mentioned in the Telegram that I don't usually enjoy watching back my own streams, but I don't know. Even though it wasn't the most efficient stream, it was still getting in the swing of things, being the first stream, the first build stream. I actually really enjoyed watching it back. I think there was a lot of great info. I mean, I think there's, some of the prompts that I put in could have been improved. When I was watching it back, I was just thinking, why did I use that exact prompt, or why didn't I add more information? But, it was, having said that, I think it was still a really great stream. And I think that it's, anyone that you could literally watch that stream and learn how to go. For someone that's never built, they could watch that stream and they should be able to actually deploy something and have a live service of some sort, a crypto service, just from that stream alone. But yeah, they're going to get a lot better in the future and a lot more focused. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's stream. And thanks for the feedback. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hope you guys are, I genuinely hope you guys are as bullish about all these plans as I am. I don't know what the effect is going to be today, tomorrow, or even next week, but I know that if we're pumping out 2 to 3 high quality streams and content, that's like, I don't know, 6 hours plus of content every week, it will have a massive effect at some point. And if I had to bet, I'd say it's going to be sooner than later. Like, it's not going to take months. It's going to take weeks at most, in my opinion. But again, I can't predict exactly when that effect is going to really, compound, and that snowball effect is going to really kick in full force. But yeah, I'm super excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Do you guys have any feedback or questions or comments? Thank you. Great job. My pleasure. Hey, Michelle, let's go. Any new utilities in the offing? Not sure what you mean, David, but I mean, pretty much the whole stream I've been talking about how we're going to be building new utilities. So there's plenty of new utilities coming. Where are the cats? I'll grab one of them in a sec. Any partnerships with other protocols to come? I'm open to it. I mean, this is a great thing that we can build too. We can definitely build stuff that interacts with other protocols. I don't have anything like immediately planned, but definitely always open to collabs. Something similar to DDD, but utilize Blue Book and MSS. Like, I never used DDD. I never got too familiar with it. So I need someone to explain that to me. Like, just saying like something similar to DDD doesn't really mean much to me, unfortunately. Like, I'm sure whatever it is, I'm sure we can build it. How are you planning to collect community ideas for next builds? So, I mean, I think this is something that I'd like to discuss on streams. And I mean, we can definitely discuss it in the communities, like in the actual Telegram. I don't know. I guess maybe we can build something maybe to collect ideas, right? Like maybe something that's, maybe it's not even crypto related, just something where maybe you connect your Telegram account or you connect your X account and you can, put an idea in and then other people can vote on it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can build related to that. I mean, I guess like considering that we're doing build streams, I think that would make the most sense. Like voting's great. I mean, we got the voting down, but we don't really have a great way to collect ideas. So maybe we could build something related to that. Sorry, as and when. I mean, our next build stream is tomorrow. We're going to be building utilities every build stream. Let's pump the bags. Oh, yeah. Actually, he's sleeping. Maybe I won't get him. Okay, let's get him. 1 sec. There he is. All right, guys. Well, that was I think it's been a really productive AMA. I guess we can leave it a couple more seconds to see if we have any other questions or comments. He's tired. I love hanging out with him. I'll get him anytime. I mean, he was sleeping, but he's happy to be here now. Oh. He almost knocked my drink over. Yep, my little tiger. All right, guys. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. Look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's build stream. It's going to be a great one. We're going to have that more efficient setup going. And, you know, like I said, they're going to get better and better every single stream. So very exciting stuff. So hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day. And again, see you guys all tomorrow.